All right, y'all. Shalom. And the title of today's show is Draw the Line, How to Finally Get Serious. Um, this show is going to be very encouraging for those brothers and sisters who, desire to move forward and, to take action. It's going to be a very good show. Um, because, the season we're in and, the, what's the best way to say it? The deception and the distraction that is being pushed on people is it's intense. It's intense, and But on the same note, one of the things I've been saying throughout this dead season or this winter season is heathen holiday season going through here. All this is, man, the truth that has been coming forth, the stuff that's been being brought out to us in order to keep us locked in is just on point. But on the same note, the distractions are at an all-time high too. So let's not get it twisted. But like this title says, man, you got to draw the line and you got to get serious. You got to get intentional about moving forward. What do I mean by that? Let's get into some we're going to get into some good stuff here. Check this out. If you don't know what you want to do, how are you going to invest the time in order to get there? And I just see this with a lot of people. Man, I've been teaching a lot, particularly to the saints here in our assembly, of it, making sure you know exactly what you want to do. Because when you have that, now you can create your yearly goal, your monthly goal, your weekly goal, your daily goal. You know what I'm saying? And get to where you need to get, whether it's spiritual, mental, physical, fitness-wise, something like that, dietary, you name it. Okay? And now you have something to be focused on. You have something to focus on. And once you have the goal is there to glance at every now and then just to make sure you're going in the right direction. But what you need to be focused on, you don't need to be focused on your goal. Like Nick Saban says, you need to be focused on the process. What are you doing each day to move closer to this thing? Y'all, the reason I keep speaking on this, because I see people who are amazingly stagnant. Like, they are so stagnant, you could not tell the difference between what they got going on in their life today on January 6th, 2026. You couldn't tell the difference between what they have going on in their life today versus what they had going on in their life January 6th, 2025, a year ago to this day. And what I've been doing with the brethren, and particularly what we're talking about in particular is careers, because this is a big one. This is this is where it shows. This is where it shows what is going on in between them ears. This is where it shows what's going on spiritually in people. Where it's just brutal stagnation, you know? And the way it comes out and it manifests is in what they put their hand to. The word says, hate not laborious work. I see a lot of, I deal a lot with the brothers, so I see a lot of brothers who just, their issue is simply, a lot of them, they just haven't gotten mad. They haven't got upset. They haven't got fed up with where they're at. So they just stand stagnant, making excuses to themselves. And here we are. Y'all know the way I do it. Here we are. It is the 6th of January already. Okay? Now, I can tell you, what you see me looking over here at, I'm looking at this calendar I got here, man. And, whoo. Y'all, I'm looking at this calendar. I can tell you just today, this thing done stacked up, and I don't even have, like, it's piled up with, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's already piled up with 7 things in the coming week. And I probably got another 7 online that I need to put on there. Type stuff. And on purpose, it ain't just I'm purposely busy on purpose, and I'm busy in the areas that I desire to be busy in, my goal-oriented tasks. I'm busy in them each day. And I'm not letting people, places, things, mindsets, thoughts, feelings, or emotions get in the way of what I've set out and am still setting out to do. Because why I told y'all, hey, you got to have goals. I realized this morning I need to write out my yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals that are spiritual, economic, physical, all that. I still need to write that out on a sheet where they're right there in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I haven't done that yet. I do have them written down, but I need it all in one place so I could focus on it and look at it. Why? Because why writing all this stuff down and all this? Y'all, because the distractions are at an all-time high. And they're coming from everywhere. People, places, things, mindsets, thoughts, feelings, emotions, impulses, you name it. And you got to be dialed in and dial all that stuff out. If you want to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, economically, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? Distracted people distract people, and a lot of people are distracted. And I'm watching people, man, they are setting up 2026 to be another year of stagnation for themselves. Why would I say that? Because if you don't plan, you plan to fail. I'm watching people stumble, fumble, bumble, and we only in the 6th day of the Greco-Roman New Year. Okay? And you can't be out here playing around. I'm talking about, man, this thing getting ready to creep up on people so fast where they're going to realize that they just squandered and waste their time in disobedience, in stubbornness, in rebellion, and you name it. Out here playing around. Why? Because a lot of people, man, they just have no ambition. They have no desire to multiply the talents that the Most High has given them. They don't want that well done, thou good and faithful servant. Even though they sit there and read it, they hear it being taught, they see it being done around them, they're being pushed and encouraged to do it, and they don't do it. Don't listen, man. Like I said, y'all, Michael Israel over here, man, like I said, one of our brothers, he was like, yeah. He's like, Brother Mike, he was like, yeah, man, 2026, man, gonna be a roller coaster. I said, bull crap. I said 2025 was a roller coaster. 2026 is gonna be a peaceful ride through the countryside on a train. And like I said, I'm gonna just be watching the scenery go by. That's all the silliness, all the entertaining stuff. I'm not entertaining clowns. I am letting clowns entertain me. You know what I'm saying? You got to be dialed in, brothers. You sisters, y'all got to be dialed in. Listen, Satan operates through people. And there are people who profess, they call themselves saints and followers of the book, and they full of they come in and they do Satan's work in your life and in theirs. They just let him flow through them. And what? Satan's subtle. He don't got these people out here smoking weed and doing drugs and doing crazy stuff. He's subtle. He just simply has them distracted. He simply has them focus over here instead of over here. That's it. And they stay off track and everything around them's off track. Let's see what else I got here. I jotted down some thoughts and stuff that came in my mind concerning this topic. We talked about being process focused and not goal focused. So what I'm doing is adjusting your zoom and your aperture lens to focus in properly on the right thing. Okay, you could be focused but on the wrong thing. And even in a goal, you could get distracted by a goal where you're focused on the finished product and you're not focusing on each step. You need to be laser focused on each step you are taking as you walk towards your destination. You need to be laser focused on your feet and the steps and what's immediately in front of you. And every now and then just glance up to make sure you're going in the right direction and keep focus on them steps and make sure each step is perfect. People aren't doing that. Man, people looking over here, they looking over there, they're looking down here. They don't know where they going. And it's crazy, man. Man, you don't even want me to get started. Check this out. Master, let me see. All right. Here's part of the issue. Here's part of the problem. Discipline is boring. People are they doom scrolling. They're doom scrolling their lives away on stupid stuff, pointless stuff that's not going to get them closer to where they need to be. They're doom scrolling. Why? Because it's a dopamine hit. It feels good. It grabs their attention, right? Discipline is boring. Man, once you get locked in, I'm grooved into this routine, man. And it's so boring. It's not exciting. I'm just doing it, boom, getting it. But what happens over time, it becomes a routine, it becomes a habit. And it's just, hey, it's just something I do, just like I brush my teeth. It's not exciting brushing my teeth, but I do it. Why? Because I got to do it. And eventually, you condition yourself, okay? Eventually, you condition yourself to desire this way of life, to desire a peaceful, uneventful, focused life so that you can move towards the places you want to move to. You could get to your destination where you want to get. Let's pull up the definition of that word, condition. The state of something with regard to its appearance. All right, that's not the... here it is. The definition of condition. To bring something into the desired state for use. Okay? So you want to condition yourself. Okay? By what? By for a season, disciplining yourself into acquiring better habits. Man, we did an interesting thing. When was it? Last week, I think it was. It was probably New Year's Day or whatever. We had the brothers just write out their schedules. Write out your schedule. Write out what you do, you know. And I told them, and they know they're in front of me, so they're writing this thing out, trying to make it look as good as they can. And we looked at it. We looked at each of the brothers' schedule, and I showed them where they were just wasting all this time. And one brother, we looked over his schedule. He had less than an hour allocated to working towards his goal. When we got done optimizing his schedule, he had over 8 hours or something like that, probably more, allocated towards working towards his goal, and it was pretty effortless. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them were wasting a lot of time trying to cook food and just doing stuff working on stuff that from a glance would look like a goal, but it really wasn't going anywhere. It really, when you think about it, it wasn't going to move the needle it wasn't going to get them to where they need to get. So it was a productive looking distraction. We got to be intentional. Let's pull up that word real quick. Okay? Intentional. Okay? Intentional means something done deliberately, purposefully, and with conscious thought, not by accident. Okay? We have to be intentional about our spiritual growth and development. We have to be intentional about our obedience to the word. We have to be intentional about how we are moving through life. Most importantly, we have to be intentional about our time, and probably this is going to be the most important one of all. You have to be intentional about where your attention is going. And man, it's amazing. I watch people just squander and waste their time. And, you know, I've seen it for a while, but now, you know, over the last month or so, especially when Pastor came with that close the door or something like that message, it's clear. You can see so clearly how people waste their time, and how people who waste their time will waste yours too. Because if they don't care about their time, you know they don't care about yours. You see what I'm saying? So, going back to what I said earlier, distracted people distract people. Brothers and sisters, you have to eliminate people out of your life, places out of your life, things, social media out of your life, mindsets where you just constantly dwelling on certain things. Eliminate that. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Y'all know what I've been saying. You got to get intentional, because what Satan is trying to do is just keep you slightly distracted. And you ask these, like, you think about it, look how deceptive it is, okay? By all intents and purposes and observation, everybody looks apart. It's like, hey, I go to Shabbat on the weekend, I be around the saints and this, that, and other, but you're distracted and you don't even realize it. You're not doing anything. You don't have a purpose. You're not in purpose, on purpose, for any purpose. When we know what I've been saying, what I've been telling people, man, is the main thing is to keep the main thing. Okay? That is the main thing. The main thing is keeping the main thing the main thing. And man, I've seen people so distracted and just like lost in their distraction comfortably. And what jolts you out of it is when I say, hey, what were you doing? Because, and I'm not like, I don't follow these pagan holidays and nothing like that. It's just that this time of year, everybody's always off. It's always the same thing. And typically you can remember exactly what you were doing this time last year. And you're probably right. You're probably right there in the same spot spiritually. You're probably right there in the same spot mentally. You probably right there in the same spot physically. You probably right there in the same spot economically. Don't get mad at me. Am I your enemy because I tell you the truth? So when you why is it like that? Look who you're around. Look who's influencing you. Look what's influencing you. Social media, doom scrolling, probably video games, probably certain people, places, things, mindsets that are on repeat. But I thought, iron sharpened iron. I thought gold is tried in the fire and acceptable in the furnace of adversity. So we're not pressing forward. We're not growing. We're not meditating on the word day and night. It's not bringing forth fruit. We deceiving ourselves. It says, be ye, what does it say? Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. Deceiving yourself. You can deceive yourself. So check this out. Let's see. Remember this. Your life situation is a result of your habits. And a lot of, if you're in a habit of just, when you got free time to yourself, you just doom scrolling on social media or playing video games and doing something to give yourself a dopamine hit, and just to go off into the dopamine zone in your mind. And if that's what you do with your free time, your life is the sum total of that. You could total up that day you did that. And then the next day you did the same thing. Then the next day you did the same thing with your time. Then the next day you did the same thing. Then the next week you did the same shit. Sitting there doom scrolling, video gaming, fucking off, wasting time. That you did it that week. And then the week after that you did the same thing. Then the month after that you did the same thing. Then the month after that you did the same dumb shit. And then the year after that, you did the same thing with your time. And then now, look where you're at. Your life is the sum total of your habits. Whether you fell into those habits unconsciously because it just felt good and that's what you nestled yourself into, or whether you were intentional about the habits you got into. That's going to be the sum total. I'm being intentional about my habits. Okay? I'm being intentional. I'm bringing ultimate accountability because I'm putting it out here in front of hundreds of people. That this year I'm going to be intentional about the habits that I create for myself. I'm going to be intentional on purpose about eliminating the stuff that needs to be eliminated and bringing in the stuff that needs to be brought in to cultivate and create good habits that are going to get me where I need to be spiritually, mentally, physically, economically. You see what I'm saying? Putting book into action, putting the word into action. Let's see what else I got here. Comfort, I said this before in another show. Comfort is the biggest thief of progress. Man, when I see these people, I just call them dopamine fiends. When I see these people who just prefer to be comfortable rather than do what they need to do, it's like, now I know to steer left. Because that's their God, is comfort. Their comfort zone is what they worship and serve. They're not serving Yah. When you serving Yah, you're going to be in a furnace of adversity. Like a brother was talking to me today, and he was saying he sees how because he had came around this weekend, and he was like, he sees how we move over here versus how he was moving. You know what I'm saying? Like over here, certain vehicle issues, it don't matter whether it's rain, sleet, snow, cold, whatever, that shit getting fixed. We're going to maintain that thing. We ain't going to be sitting there while we like over here, what we like doing over here on first days and stuff like that. We like watching UFC fights and stuff and eating pizza and just chilling. Now if them cars got to be fixed, we're going to be out there in the elements, whatever it is, getting that thing 100. Maintaining that vehicle to a zenith. You know what I'm saying? Doing what needs to be done. You know, that's just an example I'm giving you. I see a lot of people, man, they just let everything go to shit. I mean, I could go very deep into that. I gave y'all a physical example so you could see it. Because I see some people, like this brother I was talking to, his shit always breaking down. Because he not in purpose on purpose. He ain't maintaining shit like a man in his life. This really comes on the men because we're the leaders. We're the heads. They're not handling business in their life. Because what? It's not fun. It don't feel good being up under a car in freezing temperatures. You know, when it's 30 degrees out, you up under a car looking for an oil leak. It's not fun. But if you don't do it, it's going to be a problem. Like the brothers out there right now, they got a tire that is wearing on the inside of the tire. If that shit don't get fixed, you're just going to be wasting money on tires. You could potentially have a blowout. So we got to fix it. Hey, it's not fun. Especially initially, it's not fun. But once you're conditioned into this type of life, you begin to desire it. Because you know that's what moves things forward. You know that's what being a man is about. That's what life is about. That's what being an adult is about. And I watch a lot of grown men, particularly, I'm sure women do it too, but I watch in particular a lot of grown men literally live like children. They eating, it's literally like mommy left and they could do whatever they want. They eat food like children would eat. They're eating sweets. They're spending their time when they're not at work. They're spending their time like a child would, playing video games that are going to get you fucking nowhere. Okay? They're literally like big children. And they're just doing what feels good and what's fun. In the meantime, everything around them is going to shit. When, again, if you come back, you go back, you man up. You do with that word I define, that word, condition. If you condition yourself into being a masculine man, you'll begin to become comfortable doing man shit or adult shit. As a woman or as a man. Like y'all have heard me say before, that saying that I came across. This ain't my saying, I didn't make it up. But the boy must die so the man can live. Because if the boy doesn't die, the man's not going to live. He going to die. He going to die of a disease. He going to die of something. The boy must die so the man can live. The girl must die so the woman can live. Y'all put a 100 in the comments if y'all get what I'm saying. I wrote here, men think you are evil and their enemy because you're telling them to think. A lot of people don't want to think, man. They don't want to think. They don't want to use their mind. I watch people. Listen, this thing is diabolical. I watch men go get brainless jobs where they don't have to think. And then they come home from that brainless job where they could just be on autopilot. They could be on autopilot doing this brainless job. And then they come home and they start playing video games. They start getting on social media. Just doing what? Clicking their brain back off and just mindlessly scrolling. Boom. And then they fall off to sleep and rinse and repeat. Day in, day out. Week in, week out. Year in, year out. And then they can't figure out why nothing's happening for them in their life. Literally, you're spending your life on autopilot as a dopamine fiend. Oh, dopamine hit. Oh, brainless job. Oh, dopamine hits. You are literally like one of those guinea pig things, one of them things on a, like a rabbit chasing a carrot on a treadmill type shit. And then here comes Michael Israel. You've been praying or something, you come around me, and I tell you, hey, bro, you gotta snap out of it. You actually, that shit between your ears, you gotta actually use that. You might get a headache initially, but bro, you need to use that. That's what it's there for. And then I become their enemy. Let me see this here. One of the things I've been talking to a lot of brothers about. It's something I run into a lot. Is work ethic. Mugs will show up at a job site and they'll stand there with their hands in their pocket looking at you. I already know. Man, out there in the world, you show up like that, they'll fire your ass. You done. Like, you got to be thinking. You got to take the initiative. You got to get after this thing. See what I'm saying? Y'all, it's not a game out there, man. And then you couple that with, these dopamine fiends, so almost like that you end up being overly sensitive to criticism and correction. And you just got a recipe for failure, You gotta, like I said, when I say focus, this is what I mean. Focus, process, focus. You've planned a goal out for yourself. You've broken that goal down. Hey, I want to become this, or hey, spiritually, I need to develop this. Hey, start asking yourself, hey, how am I going to develop this? And then guess what? When you say that to yourself, an answer will come back. If you keep asking yourself, eventually, yourself's going to answer. A lot of people, man, their brain is atrophied. Let's look up the definition of that. Okay? Let's look up the definition of that word. Okay? Atrophy. A lot of people, their brain has atrophied. Atrophy is the wasting or shrinking of cells, tissues, or organs due to a lack of use, poor nutrition, disease, aging, or hormonal change. But we're talking about lack of use. A lot of people, man, their brain has atrophied. They just been on the dopamine roller coaster for so long. They've been on the dopamine fiend carousel going around for so long, their brain is atrophied. And you ask them to think and to start using their brain and to get shit together and to take some initiative and come out of that comfort zone, and they're looking like, I've seen it. Like, they look at you like, I start going like it's this look they give you. It's literally like this. It's like, I don't know what the look is. I don't know what's going on in their head. I don't know if something clicks off and I sound like the teacher on Charlie Brown to them when I'm talking. It's like, wah, 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 wah. Or I don't know if they're like, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. I don't know what's going on up in there. But it's one of whatever I said, because Come a month later, you don't see shit happening. You see no fruit. So I've arrived at the conclusion that, hey, when people show you who they are, believe it. And until you see something different, keep believing it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if that makes sense. I'm telling you. So we gotta really, man, I'm telling you. And I'm just letting people know, this is what y'all seeing, cause y'all seen it the past month, maybe since the feast or whatever. I told y'all I'm gonna be going in on here, not playing around. Okay. But what y'all hearing is trains leaving the station. That's what you hear. I'm pulling out. I don't be talking to folks like that no more. I'll be trying to. There's a couple brothers that, hey, I'm building with them. They showing progress, all that. But hey, the train pulling out. Like, hey, I get it. I see why. I be talking to Pastor, man. Like, when I first came to Straightway, I didn't I was like, I don't understand why he moved like that. Like, because Pastor would hear somebody, he'd be talking to people, they not doing what they need to do. He's like, he ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna go back and forth with him. He didn't set it in the messages. Everybody see the example. But I didn't understand. I was like, you're not gonna try to convince them to blah? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. Over the years, I was like, okay, I see exactly why he moving like that. Because at the end of the day, y'all, the ones that the Most High is dealing with, there is nothing you could do to stop them from moving forward on the path that y'all got them on. And the ones that ain't moving, that ain't doing nothing, there ain't nothing you could do to get them moving. And many gray hairs later, look, hey, I'm learning. Alright. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments. We're going to put them up there. While I'm reading them, y'all can chime on in and put more comments in there if you want. Alright. It said, Shalom, shalom, Brother Michael Israel. Blessings and prayers for you, and your advice and encouragement is gifts from the Father. Thank you that you are compelled to present to us the sheep. Praise Yah. This just been on my spirit. Somebody said, yes, sir. Deceiving ourselves. That's right. Yep. Somebody said, true facts. Yep. All right. He said, bless you, brother. Nailed it. Man, I hope this goes far and wide and people receive this thing, It says, it's all they know and been stuck in their ways at a young age. It has, man. And I mean, one of the things you got to do, you got to really sit there and realize, you got to really think about, like, hey, what is this doing for me? And also what happens, there's things, when you really get after working on your goal, it's almost like a video game, but it's a real life video game. You know what I mean? It's like a real life role playing game. Right on point, bullseye, Brother Michael Israel. You are telling the truth about us sheep stuck in, in childish stuff. Yeah, man. We gotta grow up, man. And it's just so subtle and it's so acceptable. Like the social media. And mind you, look, I'm on social media. I use social media like my my Facebook feed. When I go on there, when I go on there, it's a lot of mobility exercise and videos and motivational and leadership videos on there. My Facebook feed, my YouTube Shorts feed is mechanic stuff, mostly mechanic stuff. I have a spiritual feed also. And look, and I'm gonna tell you, listen what I'm saying. I don't want people to overhear this though, but I'm just keeping it 100. I also have a just a BS burner YouTube channel where it just be random stupid stuff that I just look at just for entertainment sometimes. But look, I probably spend 40 minutes of the day, maybe an hour of a whole entire day using social media for that. The other 8 hours or so, that stuff is, I'm using it to grow spiritually, mentally, in all these other different areas. That when I'm taking that stuff in. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, it's probably the other way around, you know? And that's what I'm talking about. One of your old. Okay. He said, one of your old shows they need is biblical masculinity. Yeah. You go check that out, man. That's brother, that's one of the ways I use to real quickly discern men from boys is just off biblical masculinity, because in order to do what the word says, and biblical femininity too, in order to do what the word says, you got to have a certain drive, a certain will to you, because you're gonna face, you know, conflict. There's gonna be conflict. Somebody said good word, nailed it. Somebody said nailed it again. Excellent. Makes sense. All aboard, full steam ahead. There you go. As long somebody said, as long as I get on, brother, I'll hold the train door. Yeah, but when that train start moving, folks could be running. They ain't gonna be able to catch up. Yeah. 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 Brother Abraham said, Pastor says all the time it's common sense. I see it more and more. And then we find common sense isn't so common. Anyway, y'all, that's what I wanted to get on here and say. I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. And with that said, y'all, shalom, shalom.